Hello, hi, and welcome to this week's True Crime livestream. If you're new here, hi, I'm FEARSONA, you can call me Sona, and I'm your friendly neighborhood True Crime VTuber, here to give you and myself full body chills. You know why? You guys need to appreciate what I'm going through here, because I've just watched the new Netflix documentary, MH370, The Plane That Disappeared, so you don't have to. Right before I have to buy tickets to Poland, plane tickets to Poland, to go there in April. Great. Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are lurking, welcome. Just stop by the chat, say hi. You don't have to chat anymore. Just drop by and just say hi so that I can see that you're here and say hi to you. Hello, Fabian, Loki Heart, Rai Oki, Loki Arkai, J. The Real McCoy, Brian Garza, Teddy Cambosa. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw Teddy. I saw that this is your first stream of this kind. So good luck. You will have nightmares and you will not want to fly planes anymore. Nicholas Holly has been a member for 7 months. Thank you so much, Nicholas, one of my Patreons. Wow, it's been 7 months already. It's been worth it. Well, I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that. And Demeaning Rope also has been a member for 1 month. Unfortunately for you, Sona, I already saw it. Okay, but some people have not seen it, so you know. Hey, Colonel Turtle, another one of my Patreons has been a member for 7 months too. Congratulations. And Zuki, hello. And Sunny Rainy Day, hello. And Black Wolf still gives me the creeps when flying. Well, I mean, after today's stream, I think I'm gonna postpone my flight to Poland. Shy, hi. I saw that this is your first stream. You caught it, so congratulations. And Racer, hi, Racer. Kevin Nizuko. Joke, JK, I guess joke. Good evening, salutations. I hope there was a law from Romania in that weirdest Europe laws stream. There wasn't, but I'm gonna have more of those streams, so don't worry, I'm gonna get there. Okay, I'm in for a treat. Well, you guys all are in for a treat, because, I told you, remember how I told you that, about the murder case last time, and I said something along the lines of, oh, this case has a plot so thick that you would cut through it with a knife. Well, honestly, you will need a chainsaw to cut through the plot of the missing plane, Malaysia Airlines plane, because holy fuck, this plot is just thick. It's just thick, the thickest plot I've ever heard about. And so I suffered through the documentary for you and compiled the information from the show and from other sources. Today, I'm gonna tell you about the plane that vanished into thin air. Again, right before I have to buy plane tickets for my flight back to Poland, and then in the evening today, I have to go to the dentist. Clearly, I really don't want to run this channel anymore. I would rather mysteriously disappear on a plane or die in a dentist chair. So much trauma today. You guys better fucking appreciate what I'm going through. This is all for you. This is all for your entertainment. Fuck. Okay. I've been cursing a lot in the first 10 seconds of this video. Great. Awesome. Extra thick plot. Also, Ketsuya, thank you so much for the donation. A bit late, but happy Women's Day. Aw, thank you so much. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that it was Women's Day and like International Women's Day or like Women's Day in Poland. I think it was like a Women's Day in Poland and then International Women's Day. Who knows? But thank you so much. Okay, no. Well, we do. You better appreciate this, because after watching this documentary and like compiling all of this information, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't know. I kind of told my friend, like I was talking to my friends and I was just like, you know what, you guys, I think I'm okay. I don't have to go to Poland for like a couple of months. Maybe I can postpone. And they're like, Jesus, are you really, like really, seriously? Calling it right now. It's the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know if I think it was like quite far, but thank you so much, Bacon, for your donation. And J. The Real McCoy also, thank you so much. I'll tell you what made these passengers disappear. The two in-flight movies were Dragon Ball Evolution and the first Sonic movie with the original Sonic look. Oh God. Probably. Honestly, I wouldn't blame. I wouldn't blame if the plane was just like, they played it and the captain and the crew were just like, you know what? You know what? That's it. That's it. We're disappearing this airplane. Sana, why do you do this to yourself? I don't know. I like to suffer for my art. What can I say? Okay. So, in conclusion, at the beginning, straight up, in conclusion, you guys have to appreciate what I'm gonna do today. Okay. Wait, I just saw Sergeant Teddy Bear. Woo! Finally been able to catch one of your streams. Welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in, for stopping by, and for saying hi. Okay, so let's get right into it. The disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 on March 8th, 2014 remains one of the most puzzling mysteries in modern aviation history. The Boeing 777 aircraft was carrying 239 passengers and crew on a routine flight from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Beijing, China, when it vanished from radar screens without a trace. On March 8th, 2014, at 12:41 a.m., Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 departs from Kuala Lumpur International Airport with almost 239 passengers and crew on board. During the plane's takeoff and the first few minutes of flight, an exchange of routine messages between the captain of the aircraft and the air traffic control were made. Then, at 1:07 and 55 seconds a.m., Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah sends this message: Malaysian 370 maintaining level 350. To which the air traffic control, so ATC, replies promptly at 1:08 a.m. Malaysian 370. And then we have the message from the Malaysian ATC requesting that the captain switch to the ATC in Vietnam. So Malaysian 370 contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Then the captain of the aircraft responds at 1:19 and 29 seconds a.m. with the infamous message, "Good night, Malaysian 370." And that would be the last message the aircraft responds to the ATC. And then the plane would disappear from the radar screens while flying over the South China Sea between Malaysia and Vietnam. After several hours of no contact, and I think it was about 6 hours of continuous no contact with the aircraft, it is only logical that the search operations were launched in the South China Sea, focusing on the area between Malaysia and Vietnam, where the aircraft was last seen on the radar. However, soon a puzzling discovery is made in regards to the plane's sudden route change that hadn't been taken into consideration at first. So what happened is this aircraft's flight path was initially consistent with its planned route, but at 1:19 a.m. local time, the aircraft's communication systems were turned off. And then at 1:21 a.m., the aircraft's transponder was also turned off, making it invisible to the ATC radar. That is when the ATC and the search party assumed the aircraft crashed somewhere along its original route. But that's not exactly what happened, because there came a game changer. Data from military radar and satellite communications run by the company Inmarsat. So that's a UK-based company, Inmarsat, London-based, that operates satellites. Then later revealed that the aircraft had made a sharp turn to the left and flew in a westerly direction, away from its planned route, like completely different direction. The aircraft then made another turn to the southwest, and flew along the border between Malaysian and Thai airspace, so between Malaysia and Thailand. completely different route. Not when it was supposed to be. Like, very sharp turn, as you can see from the map. It's just diverted completely. Okay, so the aircraft continued to fly for several hours, allegedly until the fuel ran out, which was the plane had about 8 hours of fuel. So from that point on, from the diverting of the original route, it was allegedly flying for about 6 hours, and with the satellite data suggesting that it may have flown as far as the southern part of Indian Ocean. The exact reasons for this change route, the route change, remain unknown, but investigators believe that it was a deliberate act, meaning someone actually deliberately turned the airplane. It wasn't a mistake, it was a deliberate action. So then, on March 15th, 2014, it is revealed that the aircraft's communication systems were turned off deliberately and its flight path manually altered, suggests that someone on board had taken control of the aircraft. Then, on March 16th, the search area was eventually narrowed down to the southern Indian Ocean based on the Inmarsat data and analysis of the aircraft's flight path. On March 20th, 2014, so this is within days, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, AMSA, took charge of the search efforts because it was within their, the Australian waters. So they took charge of the search efforts in the southern Indian Ocean and conducted 3 underwater search missions between 2014 and 2017. However, despite covering a total of 120,000 square kilometers of area under the ocean, no wreckage was ever found. And then another shocking discovery is made in the early stages of the investigation, which, by the way, the Malaysian government did not inform the families about. So that was very, very strange. It was very strange already. Like, the families were pissed. Everyone, the relatives, the next of kin, were frustrated. They were angry because in the first few hours and first few days of the investigation, even though things were clearly going on, they were not being informed about anything, any progress in the investigation. So then the shocking discovery was made that 2 passengers on board of the flight were traveling on stolen passports, which immediately raised concerns about a possible terrorist attack. However, it was later determined that the 2 passengers were Iranian nationals seeking asylum in Europe and had no links to any terrorist organizations at all. So this was ruled out. Those 2 were not connected, unlikely at least. They were not connected to the flights, the disappearance. And then between March 24th and June 17th, 2014, so within a couple of months, the extensive search is conducted in different parts of the southern Indian Ocean with the use of unmanned underwater vehicles. As I said, like, they were searching underwater. They were scanning the area of 120,000 square kilometers. But despite continuous efforts and engagement of advanced search technologies, the wreckage of MH370 remains missing. Then, the search of the missing aircraft was officially suspended in January 2017, but the families of the passengers and crew continue to seek answers to this tragic event. To this day, by the way, because we have no answers as of 2023, not much has changed. But as I told you that the plot of this case is like super thick and it changes constantly. And there are new information that technically tell us something, but ultimately they don't solve the case. And there's another thing. So in July 2015, a piece of debris, later confirmed to be a part of the aircraft's wing, a flaperon, was found washed up on the coast of Reunion Island. an island near Madagascar. So as you can see on the map, it's like very far from Malaysia, very far from the original route, even far from from where the plane supposedly crashed in the Indian Ocean. However, this discovery did not provide any new information on the cause of the aircraft's disappearance. Like, there wasn't any indication on that piece of equipment, whether or not there was a fire on board, whether or not there was an explosion. It just didn't seem like it didn't point to anything. And following was a discovery of dozens of aircraft pieces made by a man named Blaine Gibson, an experienced adventurer who, prior to this discovery, consulted experts about the possible route the wreckage would have made, so the debris would have made, had the plane crashed in the southern Indian Ocean, so, here next to Australia. So the experts ran a simulation and announced that it's absolutely possible that the flaperon ended up on the coast of Reunion Island, very close to Madagascar, because of the currents that would carry, all that debris all the way across the Indian Ocean. So then experts also told Gibson that he would find more debris on the coast of Mozambique. So this is the area, this little square that I've marked here. That's the area where they told him that, there's a high probability, a high chance that he would actually find more pieces of the aircraft. And lo and behold, when he went to the coast of Mozambique, he did find a lot of pieces. I think at least 20 are assigned to him. Like, Gibson actually found at least a dozen or 20 pieces of the aircraft, although none of them were 100% confirmed, aside from the initial one, the flaperon. Like, the flaperon is confirmed to be from MH370, so now we know that the plane crashed, for sure, but we don't know in what circumstances. Okay, now we get to the crazy part. Because believe me, what I'm about to tell you, all the theories, those are fucking crazy. And yeah, I got, even when I was watching the documentary, there was this one person who pissed me off, and I'm gonna talk about him, and fuck that guy to this day. But okay, now let's discuss some of the most circulated theories on what happened to MH370. So the first one is simple. It's a mechanical failure. So it suggests that a catastrophic mechanical failure caused the aircraft to crash into the ocean. Thing is, the Malaysian government's final report about the flight MH370 reveals that the plane carried a substantial amount of cargo on board, and part of that cargo was a shipment of 221 kilograms of, get this, lithium-ion batteries. Yep. If you know a thing or two about traveling, by plane, they usually forbid you from having any sort of batteries or chargers in your luggage, in your main luggage. Like, you're not supposed to have any sort of battery there, right? Because there's a risk that it would spark a fire. It would explode. It was, in contact with something. But yeah, apparently there was over 200 kilograms of lithium-ion batteries or electronic, some mysterious electronic equipment that did not undergo the normal security screening due to the size of the shipment that didn't fit through the X-ray screens at the Kuala Lumpur airport. Nevertheless, the report also stated that it is highly improbable that the batteries did spark a fire big enough on the plane and thus were the reason for the plane to crash. There were speculations about the electrical malfunction of the plane that could have caused the machine's, failure, but that also seemed unlikely according to the government, as there were no distress calls from or warning signs from the aircraft that were communicated to the ATC, unless the electrical malfunction was intentional. and whoever messed with the electronics bay of the plane, which I'm gonna explain in a moment, caused the system to go down entirely, cutting off any means of communication with the ground. But that doesn't explain why the plane likely kept on flying for about 6 hours after disappearing from the ATC radar. Fallout, thank you so much for the donation. Did the plane teleport? No, it didn't. It's not manifest. If you haven't seen that. Oh, also, someone actually mentioned, like, oh, if someone makes a movie out of this this disappearance, I'm gonna flip my shit. Well, someone made it. Well, I mean, it's not exactly, but like, go watch Manifest. That's the TV show about a plane that disappeared for like a couple of years and then showed back up. And yeah, it was just like went into a interdimensional corridor or something, and it just disappeared and then it reappeared. But I digress. Time to support from the shadows. Have a nice stream, Fear. Thank you so much, Fallout. Was it some sort of experiment? I'm gonna get to that. You guys, it gets crazy from here. And hold on to your seats, because it's fucking, okay, it kind of spirals out of control. Okay, so this brings us to the next theory, the hijacking. And here is where a man named Jeff Wise comes in, an American author and quote-unquote television journalist. I can already tell you that I fucking hate this guy and will shit on him a lot when discussing theories, because he really wants to be famous. He really wanted to be famous. Even when you watch the documentary, you know that he wanted to be fucking famous. It was the aliens. Aliens! Maisie, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months, looking up everything about this case. Yep, I have a, we're still only like maybe 1/3 halfway through. I like the model. Thank you so much. TV persona. Yeah, like his name's Jeff. I mean, I'm sure that Jeff, whoever is, whoever has a name Jeff, okay, I'm English so hard. If your name is Jeff, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. It's just not this guy. This guy was not a wonderful person. He's an asshole. He's a really wannabe kind of journalist, and he's himself, like, he's actually a Harvard educated biologist. God, English so hard. He is a Harvard educated biologist, but then he admits that he likes stories. He likes sensational stories. And so he switched to being a journalist, and he, lo and behold, he, got a hang of this story. Oh God, he went to Harvard. Yeah. So, he got a hold of this story, and it just like, yeah, it went off the deep end. Fucking hate that guy. Anyway, so Jeff Wise brought attention to a pretty insane story, pretty insane theory that the crash of MH370 was caused at the order of the Russian government. Yep, hear me out. So only 4 months after MH370 disappeared, suddenly there is this breaking news that another Malaysia Airlines plane crashed. This time it was flight MH17, and it crashed in eastern Ukraine, right on the Russian border. And it was confirmed that the plane had been shot down by a land-to-air anti-aircraft missile dispatched by the Russian military, or from the rebel-controlled area at least. But it's just weird because the Russian government was changing their story constantly about flight MH17, about the one that they shot down. They were just like, oh, it wasn't us. It was the rebels in Ukraine and eastern Ukraine. But the problem is that system that was used to shoot down the plane was then transported back to Russia. So, sure. Of course you had nothing to do with it. Please. Okay. Mind you, all of this is happening in 2014. And what happened in 2014 that was so significant to that region and to the Russian government. Can you make a guess what happened in 2014? The invasion and annexation of Crimea. So Jeff Weiss has this theory that the Russian government wanted some kind of big distraction to divert the international attention from the fact that they were moving more and more of their military into Crimea. So they needed a huge distraction, a huge tragedy. So Jeff Weiss says like, oh, they shot down MH370. Who's to say that they didn't do the same thing with MH370? That, they just tried it first, that over South China Sea or the Indian Ocean. They just tried that. And then they did a more ballsy kind of shoot down of the MH17. So apparently, Weiss investigated the list of passengers on the MH370 flight. And here's this theory already, this theory is already starting to get off the deep end, because he said that 3 passengers on that plane looked like Russians. Meaning they looked white. I don't know. They were white. I don't. Okay, help me out here, because I'm not sure. But yeah, he was just like, oh, and the documentary actually shows the photos of those 3 passengers with their faces blurred, but like they show the photos of passengers that are supposedly Russians, and they're just like straight up just white dudes. That's it. So I'm like, oh, okay then, which is great. Anyways, so wait, because I'm not done with this theory. Jeez. Okay. So anyways, the theory is that the Russian agents were on the plane on a suicide mission, basically. And then at least one of them had to have substantial knowledge about aircraft systems through the electronics bay. And this is an example of an electronics bay on a Boeing 777. And it is basically the nerve system of the plane. So if you have knowledge about this system, about the, how to operate it, you can basically hijack the plane from the inside and you can control it. So yeah, they had to gain access to that electronics bay, which actually isn't very hard, because the flap is located right on the floor at the front of the first class. Like straight up. Oh, sorry. That's okay, that's for later. But that's for when the story gets like out of hand. But there's the access flap, kind of like a lid, leading to the electronics bay at the front of the first class. So under the carpet, you can just like lift the carpet and you can just open it. There's no key. There's no like, at least there wasn't, like back in 2014, there wasn't like a specific key or access code to open the flap. You just had to open the lid. The Matrix Sona. I was hoping you guys didn't see that. But yeah, that's the next hacker Sona. But yeah, as I said, like you straight up have to just open the flap. You don't have to, like, there's just like I think a handle, and you can just pull it and you can go into the plane's like nerve system. Anyway, but now they needed a distraction. So here's where the story goes off the deep end. Then, if one of the agents managed to get into the area unnoticed, they would have had to hook a separate laptop to the system and intercept it. Then they are basically in control of the whole plane. They can switch off communication devices. They can switch them back on. They can change the route of the plane. Everything from the laptop. So then, the Inmarsat data published by Inmarsat into the investigation, first said that the plane diverted its route and headed for the Indian Ocean. And actually, this report included a detail about how the MH370 plane turned off the communication device and the transponder. Jesus, I can't speak English. But MH370 plane turned off the system at one point and then turned it back on, which means the system rebooted. Okay, IDK Bacon, thank you so much for the donation. HackerSona emote when? Coming soon. Jeez, I have so many emotes to like show you guys, to make. To either commission or make myself and add them here. Spy mode Sona 007. Should help FEARSONA with cyber-related crimes. What? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not like, definitely not an expert in like cyber-related crimes, but you know, I'm just kind of going through the information that I've gathered from the documentary and from sources about this case. So I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm just a layman talking about shit I don't understand. But okay, so I was talking about how the Inmarsat data, the report kind of notes that the system rebooted, and after that, you know, the plane was like diverted into the new route, so the westerly directed route. There was like a reboot, and it kind of so there's this thing called the handshake in satellite terms. So basically, the device that is within the satellite's reach, it just kind of requests a login. So it kind of requests a ping. Ping? Is that what you say? Yeah, like, okay, that's how it's called. If that's how it's called, but it's called a handshake. So basically, it's not like it logs in. It's not like it communicates with the satellite. No, it just kind of like registers that this device was within the reach of the satellite. So that handshake kind of happened before the reboot and then after. So it was just like, okay, it disappeared and then it reappeared. Okay, so it was rebooted, the system. And according to Jeff Wise, that motherfucker, this could have been the moment when the agents in control of the electrical system of the plane wanted to throw off the Inmarsat data and make it seem as if the plane from that point was flying south. So, you know, as the data stated, it was flying south towards the Indian Ocean, but it really had flown north towards the Asian continent and like Kazakhstan desert area, deserted kind of, yeah, like it said kind of, it could have flown straight north and crashed somewhere over Kazakhstan. Fucking story going over like off the deep end. Inmarsat obviously like denied everything. They were just like, this is a bunch of baloney. She really hates it. I really fucking hate that guy. And this is like first theory that he was kind of commenting on. He just kind of inserted himself into every single theory, and he was just like, this could have happened. This could have happened. And he really stirred a lot of drama. Accusing, because he was like appearing on CNN, BBC, interviews everywhere, kind of spitting those theories, like talking about those theories and accusing people. Because he was accusing, I'm gonna get to that, but he was accusing the captain too, the co-pilot. Oh my God, because of him, there was like so much hate on the captain and on the co-pilot and on the crew, because there was like a theory, he kind of sparked the theory that it was the crew, which I'm gonna get to in a minute. But, this first theory is just, I don't know, to me it's outrageous. It's kind of outrageous. First of all, because it's this whole elaborate plan to mess with the Inmarsat data, which means that the Russians would assume that this is what the investigation would use. They would actually like ask Inmarsat specifically, their satellite, for the data, so they had to throw it off. And somehow there would have to be cooperation between, I don't know, or if Inmarsat lied in their data, then it would have been cooperation between Russia and Inmarsat, which is UK company, to manipulate the data. Or, as I said, like it would have to be this elaborate plan that they knew exactly that they would ask this company would figure out that this plane went to like south, or I don't fucking know. Also, it's just, you know, the Jeff Wise keeps insisting. Wait, could that happen? My brain is now mush just hearing that theory. I don't know. It could theoretically, yeah, but like, why all that effort into crashing the plane specifically over Kazakhstan? Which, you know, I talked about it just now. But like, okay, so Jeff Wise insists that the plane went north and it crashed over land in Kazakhstan, right? But like, why would it be better if the plane crashed in Kazakhstan on land rather than in the Indian Ocean, like in the deep ocean, which has like canyons like as huge as the Great Canyon or bigger? It has volcanoes, it has like rifts. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why would it even make sense to you know, do this elaborate mission to throw off the data for them to look for it in the ocean instead of, I guess, yeah, like, oh, if they focus on the ocean, they don't look for it in Kazakhstan. But it's just like, okay, but now we know, but like, where is the plane? And this guy keeps yelling at the camera, like, oh, if it crashed in the Indian Ocean, where's the wreckage? And I'm like, well, if it crashed on land, motherfucker, where's the wreckage? Wouldn't it be easier? Isn't it easier to like find it on land than in the ocean? Man, I'm hungry. Hungry. I'm hungry too, but I'm angry. So angry at this. I'm so pissed at this guy. Oh, I forgot one detail. So Jeff Wise also accused, mind you, remember that guy, Blaine Gibson? So the guy who found like about a dozen of pieces of potential pieces of the aircraft of MH370. So Jeff Wise actually accused Blaine Gibson of being a Russian spy. Why? Based on the fact that back in the 90s, which is almost 30 years, well, I mean 30 years ago, but not by now, but in 2014 it was like 24 years ago. But back in the 90s, Blaine Gibson had a company that he founded with two Russian friends, and he could also speak fluent Russian. So Jeff Wise started accusing Blaine Gibson, like, oh, this guy's suspicious, and he finds all those, mysteriously, he finds all those pieces of the aircraft wherever he goes. And I'm just like, no, motherfucker, he just followed the data from the expert, from the, what is it called? Oceanographers? I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, from the experts, based on the currents in the ocean, he was just he was told by the experts that yes, most likely any debris would be carried behind Madagascar in that kind of area between Mozambique and Madagascar. So search there. If anything is gonna show up, it's gonna show up there. But no, there's just crazy stories about Russian spies, because why not? Okay. Man, I'm angry. I'm pissed. Jeff is a madman. Not even to say the least. Yeah, ocean science people. I think oceanographers. Oh, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. In Polish, it's oceanograph. So I don't know. Do with it what you will. Jeff Wise is Alex Jones beta. Oh my god. Pretty much. I'm wondering if the plane actually did crash where it was estimated in the beginning, since there were no pieces found until 2015. I'm thinking that the tides had strengthened because of the typhoon Haiyan. That is a very interesting comment, Maisie. I'm gonna get to that because yes, there is a theory that says they were searching in the right place. So I'm gonna get to that, but in a minute. Okay. So the next theory blames the pilot and co-pilot, so basically the crew. This theory suggests that the aircraft's captain or co-pilot intentionally crashed the plane. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, and, very concrete, 100% confirmed evidence. And investigations have not like investigators have not found any evidence or motive for like this kind of suicide mission. The pilot of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 was Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah, a highly experienced pilot with over 33 years of flying, this aircraft and other aircrafts. He had been with Malaysian Airlines since 1981 and had flown over 18,000 hours on various aircraft types. Captain Zahari was highly regarded by his colleagues and was described as a very competent and very professional pilot. He was also an aviation enthusiast who had built a flight simulator in his home, which is not unusual for very experienced pilots. Like, this was stated by the Malaysian Airlines. This was stated by other pilots, other experts, and they said, like, yes, I also have a flight simulator. This is not weird. But here is where it kind of gets weird, because upon investigation, it was discovered that the simulator that Zahari had a very specific flight route registered on it. And this route was very, very similar to the one assumed, like the one that was assumed to have been taken by MH370 before it crashed. So the route into the Indian Ocean. And okay, so here is like something weird. So after this was discovered, by the way, this was discovered after like within 2 years of the investigation, but it was, well, within the first few months of the investigation after the plane disappeared. But for some reason, the report wasn't released until like 2 years later, which is strange. Another strange thing is that the FBI was given the hard drive from that simulator to investigate it, even though it's just bizarre, because like, what does FBI have to do with a plane crash that happened, not only to like in Malaysian airspace or, like in Asian airspace, so Malaysia, Vietnam, possibly, Australia, Indian Ocean. So like, what does, FBI have to do with it? But like, for some reason, the FBI was given the hard drive to investigate. So yeah, like, unfortunately, there was a route that was on that hard drive that was very, very similar. And following this discovery, there was much speculation about Captain Zahari's possible involvement in the incident. Much of it was made by also Jeff Wise, because he was just like so into it. Like, he was just so onto like Captain Zahari. He was just like, oh yeah, this guy had this route. There's no way, like, oh, maybe he decided to commit suicide. But then it didn't make sense. Why would he fly if he wanted to commit suicide and take the passengers with him and kill the whole crew and passengers? Why would you keep flying for 6 hours or 8 hours until the fuel runs out? It didn't make sense. So some theories suggested that the motive may have been, based on Captain Zahari's like political views, because he was a supporter of the opposition party in Malaysia. But there was nothing else in Captain Zahari's like personal life that would suggest that he had any issues, any financial issues, any interpersonal issues, mental health problems, nothing. There was literally nothing. He was fine. He was just, a pilot, a very professional, established pilot with a good reputation. And yeah, like, Captain Zahari's family and friends strongly denied any involvement, and his son described him as a loving father and a very dedicated pilot who would not have intentionally put the lives of his passengers and crew and the crew at risk. And yeah, again, why would he, if he was going to take his own life and take all those passengers with him for whatever fucking reason, because there was like literally they couldn't find a reason, why would he fly for so long? Why would he take it on a, why would it take him 8 hours to do it? Like, he's in the air. He has control over the plane. It's just, well, it would be easy because, like, I mean, it would be easy technically. You would think like, oh, the co-pilot would stop him. But that's the thing. He could have just asked the co-pilot, which is explored in the documentary. Like, oh, he could have asked the co-pilot to go out of the cockpit to just like grab him something and then lock the cockpit. So he has the control, the complete control over the plane. And then he does whatever he wants to do. But yeah, it just didn't make sense. Yes, the simulator was definitely strange. I wonder how similar, because ocean is all the same. Plus, if naval tech fails, navigation tech fails, he might just rely on his game memory to try to get home. That is true. That's true. But so it was pretty similar, but it kind of diverted. So the where do I have the next one? Wait. So the one that you see here, wait. Okay, that's not the one. So the one that you see here, the route that you see here, it was kind of more like his route, from what I remember, was kind of more to the west. So same area, but like a little bit, oh no, sorry, more towards Australia. So it was like a little bit higher than this. So I don't know. I mean, it was technically like, it was close. It was definitely close. It was kind of diverting in the same way. So like, it was flying the original route first over the South China Sea, and then it would divert, and then, you know, next to Thailand in the same way. So it was strange. Okay, so despite these denials, some experts believe that Captain Zahari may have been responsible for the plane's disappearance, citing his apparent interest in, again, a political situation in Malaysia at the time of the flight, and his reported deviation from standard operating procedures during the flight. The other suspect was the co-pilot, Farik Abdul Hamid, a young pilot, only 27 years old, who had been with the airline since 2007, so not that long. At the time of the flight, he had accumulated over 2,700 hours of flying experience, but only 39 hours on a Boeing 777. So he didn't have experience with this aircraft as a pilot, as the first pilot. There was speculation about Hamid's, so the co-pilot's, possible involvement in the incident, particularly in the light of the fact that he had previously broken some protocols. He had allowed 2 South African women to sit in the cockpit during a flight in 2011, which I'm just like, flirting game? Come on, it's just dating game. He wanted to impress the ladies. But yes, it was strictly against the protocols, so not good. You know, you're not supposed to do that. You know, allow any outsiders into the cockpit. So yeah, no, you're not supposed to do that. But you know, like my boy just wanted to score, except he had a wife. So yeah. So not great. But I guess it was just kind of coincidence. Okay. During the investigation, it was revealed that Farik Abdul Hamid had made a call from his mobile phone just before the aircraft took off, which raised some suspicion. However, investigators later discovered that the call was made to a friend and it was not unusual. One of the government's leaked reports also revealed that a cell phone tower made a connection with an iPhone 5S that belonged to the co-pilot as the plane approached the Penang Island. So this is the one, like when the second kind of turn happened, that's where the island is, and that's where the phone pinged. There were rumors that Farik made a mysterious phone call, so another phone call during this flight after the plane went off the radar, but that was actually incorrect. This connection was a brief automatic location signal, so, you know, like a normal ping to a cell tower. Surprisingly, this information was not shared to the public until the unintentional document leak. Why the government chose to like omit this information in their public reports, I don't know, remains unknown. An island. Yeah, so that was an island. Do you mean Riz? What? Oh, Riz, like charisma. Riz, yeah, that's a. What on earth is Riz? That's charisma. Ha! I know my Gen Z language. I know my Gen Z vocabulary, even though I'm not Gen Z. But yeah, I'm a boomer. I'm like 80. Okay. So as for the next theory, in a minute. Wait. Oh my! The Riz is a no-no. Yeah, it was pretty bad. My brain is bending so much. Believe me, my brain is like yogurt. My brain is mush by now. After this stream, I'm just gonna lie down, contemplate my life, probably not buy those tickets, like the airplane tickets, because your guys are not gonna hear from me. If I buy the tickets and I go on that, go to Poland in April, then yeah, goodbye. This might be one of my last streams. Appreciate it. Appreciate what I'm doing here. Swag, you're a good boomer. It's okay. Yeah, I'm a good grandma. Brain, seriously, Brain's just like, Sona is 80, confirmed? Yeah, I'm 89. I'm 89 to be specific. So I guess we don't have that much time together anyway. Hi, Alberto. Hi, welcome to this stream. I hope you are having a good time. I hope you guys like this stream. If you do like this stream, take a second to, to hit that like button, to subscribe, and to turn on those notifications before I go into the last theory that is equally as crazy. Okay, so there's another theory. Oh, also, fuck Jeff Wise, because I had to finish this previous theory with fuck Jeff Wise. That motherfucker can go. No. Hate that guy. Okay. So you're not 69? No, I'm 89. And she's doing just fine. 89 and I'm going strong. But until I get on a plane. Sona is jiggy with the kid lingo and mob appreciates. Yeah. Sup. Whack. Riz. I don't know what else. Caught in 4K. That's... Oh my god. Best boomer. FEARSONA stream about FEARSONA going missing. Streamception. Silverjack, congratulations. Don't disappear on us. Okay, we love you. I'll try, but I don't know. I don't control the plane. Or do I? But yeah, I'll try now. I know. I'm reconsidering my flight to Poland. We'll see. Okay. But let's get back to the case. This is one of the last theories. So the last theory is that some suggested that the plane may have been shot down by a military or government agency, either intentionally or accidentally. Supporters of this theory point to the fact that the plane disappeared from radar while flying over the South China Sea, an area with a high military presence from Australian and US military. Mind you, there are two bases. I think one is Australian air base that is located kind of closer to Malaysia. And then we have a US military base, which is located in the Indian Ocean, like somewhere on the Indian Ocean. So it was fairly close. And then the entire ordeal was covered up by the government involved, like by the governments involved, by the sides involved. It was just, the plane was shot down for a reason unknown. And then the governments covered it up. However, no evidence has emerged, certain evidence has emerged to suggest that the plane was in fact shot down and it was a huge operation. But I'm gonna explain because that's what we're here for, and it's an equally crazy theory. Okay, so there is this French, very established journalist, Florence Deschangy. I don't know how to read her name. This lady seemed legit, but then she kind of went off the deep end as well, so... Bacon, thank you so much. Get your pilot's license. If you crash and disappear, it's your own fault and not some random guys. I suppose, but I don't know. Dude, I'm afraid when the plane takes off, I can't be a pilot. Also, I have a motion sickness. I can get sick on the plane. Do you want me to operate a plane? Jesus Christ. You might as well just crash the plane without me on it. Be like, okay, this is the plane that I was supposed to fly. Let's crash it now without people on board. But like, let's crash it because I would crash it anyway. Okay. So yeah, there's this journalist, Florence, who believes that MH370 never diverted to the route that the Inmarsat data presented. And that it crashed or was shot down somewhere on its original route, so in the South China Sea. So Florence took a closer look at something that I mentioned before, a certain cargo that contained lithium-ion batteries and electronic equipment. Huge amount, because it was like over 200 kilograms, right? I have to admit, like, it looked very, very suspicious because think about it. Again, and I repeat myself, but when you are about to board a plane, the staff is strictly asking you if you have batteries in your main luggage. They also ask you, like, scan your hand luggage, so your cabin luggage, and ask you to take out any chargers, any electronics, or for an X-ray scan, right? Right. So here's the thing, that huge shipment of electronics and lithium batteries never went through an X-ray scan. It was just like straight up, they said, oh, it's too big for the X-ray scan. We don't have that big of a scanner, so let's just load it onto the plane. Jesus, if you don't have a big enough scanner, like a big enough X-ray scan, you don't load this cargo on this plane. I'm sorry. But yeah, like the plane flying to Beijing in China. So Florence makes an interesting hypothesis. Basically, she says that China's government is known for wanting to get their hands on any type of advanced technology from the West, US in particular, like military-grade electronic technology, equipment, spy drones, and such. And here we have this huge shipment of, I don't know, unspecified, mysterious electronic equipment with like all those batteries without a scan on a flight that is going straight to China. So the plane will be flying over the South China Sea, near where the Australian airbase is located. Coincidentally, at around the same time when this airplane disappeared, there were military exercises in that area involving Australian and the US military. Moreover, the US was known to dispatch AWACS in that area at the time, and AWACS stands for Airborne Warning and Control System. These are basically military planes with a mushroom-shaped big satellite installed on the back, and these babies have the capacity for jamming other aircraft's communication systems. Get what I'm getting at? Like, do you get it? Do you get what I'm like heading? So Florence actually gets into the hypothetical scenario even deeper. So right after Captain Zahari says the infamous "Goodnight Malaysia 370," the plane leaves the Malaysian airspace, and it is basically now in the so-called no man's land. So between the Malaysian and Vietnam's airspace. So what if the US intelligence got a whiff of the fact that there is illegal cargo of US military electronic equipment on the plane, and they send out 2 AWACS to intercept the plane's communication system before it gets into China's airspace? The AWACS then send an order to the plane. They communicate with the plane. They can still communicate. The plane can't communicate with the ground. But the AWACS can communicate with the plane, and they send a message to Captain Zahari to land somewhere else, to divert from the regular route and land somewhere else. So possibly on an airbase or somewhere else. So they force but the captain then says no. So they force the plane to land in the middle of the South China Sea. But then you may ask, where's the wreckage? Like, we don't have anything. What other evidence does Florence have? Okay, so here is where the project called Tomnot gets involved. So Tomnod is a project owned by a Colorado-based satellite company, Digital Globe. And their software is using this like crowdsourcing to identify objects and places in satellite images. Anyone can actually like access it. You can just, search for objects, search for places through the satellite, through Tomnod. So here is where a woman from Florida by the name Cindy Hendrick comes into the picture. She was one of the Tomnod volunteers, and she was scanning the satellite images of the South China Sea in the very early days of the plane disappearing, of the investigation. And she says that she found an area that in that sea with what looked like scattered aircraft parts that matched Boeing 777. And that was literally in the days of the disappearance, like following the disappearance. It's just, like she said, like, why is no one checking it? Like, I found this. She informed, she did notify the Malaysian authorities, the government, any parties involved in the search. But strangely, like, no one investigated. No one checked this. And there were other pilots, I think from other airlines, flying, like, according to the documentary at least, there were like pilots in other like aircrafts on flights like in the area from other airlines that actually took pictures of like what looked like a lot of debris in the ocean, in the South China Sea, because they saw it like follow in the day, like the day after the disappearance or like a couple of days later. They said like, and there are pictures circulating online. I didn't download them, but there are pictures circulating online that show like a lot of debris in that area. And it's just like, okay, why is no one talking about it? Why did no one like investigate it? So very, very weird, very strange. But here is here is what I have, like the problems that I have with this theory. I have some doubts. First of all, it's kind of far-fetched because it would mean, if this really happened, if the US or Australia like shot down the plane, it was like this huge, elaborate interception mission or whatever, all of our brains are mush thanks to this case. Yep, mine too. After this case, when I'm done with this stream, I can't speak. I will not be able to speak English anymore, or Polish, or any human language known to the human race, because Jesus. Okay. So my main doubt is that it would have to be a very elaborate mission. Like, you gotta understand, like this would mean that the US, Malaysia, Australia, UK, and Vietnam would have to all work together and agree to cover it up. Like, everyone had to, I would understand, okay, US, UK, Australia, they are kind of closer. They kind of have more friendly relations, but like US and Vietnam, US and Malaysia, I don't know. Like, it would have to be really like, cooperation of a lot of governments, like, several governments that aren't very like close or friendly with each other. And it really would have to, like, they would have to manipulate every single, detail of this case to make this plane disappear. And, it's just weird. I'm not buying it. I'm not exactly buying it. Also, mind you, Florence also was giving all those interviews. She's not like, she's more legit than Jeff Wise, because she's actually a trained journalist, and she was like reporting for she is stationed in I think Hong Kong, and she's been working in the Asia Pacific region for like 10, 20 years, like reporting actual news. So she's a little bit more legitimate. But after this case like happened, she was also giving all those interviews about her theory, and she published a book about the missing plane for personal gain. And fuck that lady too. She's a little more legit, but fuck that lady too. Come on. Oh God, I gotta get going. See you later. Oh, Nicholas, thank you so much for stopping by. But yeah, just So the third theory is a big stretch. It's such a big stretch. Like, it is weird. It is strange. And there's definitely something suspicious going on, but I don't know. It's just a huge stretch to me. Everyone knows how easy international cooperation is. Yeah, because international cooperation in in a situation of great crisis is so easy, and everyone is playing nice, and everyone is doing exactly what they're told, right? Like, that's, and everyone is just saying, okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do what you said. What do you say? How you say? Sure, yeah, no, that's not... said no one ever happened... Never happened in history. Okay. Okay, the last theory, it's a short theory, but the last theory involves a cyber attack. Namely, that the plane may have been the target of a cyber interception by hackers who then were able to control it from the ground. So not even from the air. The hackers were not on board. Hackers then could have caused the plane's communication and navigation systems to malfunction. Here's the thing. Boeing and other aircraft companies have experimented and tested out the technology that would allow to control a plane remotely. It is also noted that no commercial plane, including the 777, would be equipped with such system. So there's no way, even though they did experiment with these systems, and it's theoretically possible, it's possible, but not on the commercial airplane that the 777 was. As for the recent updates in the case in 2023, there honestly isn't much. Search efforts continue, with teams using the latest technology to scour the ocean floor for any signs of the missing plane. Well, by now it's mostly to find the black box. But the problem is, if the plane did crash in that the South Indian Ocean area, there I said it before, but there's a lot of canyons, like underwater canyons, rifts. There's a lot of volcanoes. So I'm afraid it might be lost. Like, even though the black box is technically supposed to be indestructible, if there was an explosion of an underwater volcano, I'm no expert, but I think there's debris, debris that could have covered it up, and it would be quite difficult to find. So there's much work to be done. There were some finds of aircraft pieces off the coast of Africa again, so Mozambique, some more, but those are being investigated to confirm whether or not they are actually from MH370. As I said, only one or up to 3 were actually confirmed to be from that airplane, but the rest of them are just highly likely or unconfirmed. And then the families of the victims of MH370 have been seeking justice and compensation for their loss. In 2023, legal battles continue, with lawsuits filed against the Malaysia Airlines, Boeing, and other parties involved in the flight. In summary, the case of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 remains unsolved, but efforts to find the missing plane and uncover the truth about what happened continue. The case serves as a reminder of the importance of aviation safety, necessary improvements in security, and the need for thorough investigations into any incidents. And definitely there's been some improvements, I'm pretty sure, after this crash, after the MH17 crash. There was a lot of improvements into, safety, security before and during the flight. But that is it, and I am fucking done, and Jesus fucking Christ, fuck Jeff Weiss, and Florence, I'm sorry, I thought you were legit, but kind of fuck you too. Sort of fuck you too, because you're making all those, apparently she did interview, she did have, she always, in the documentary, it's so infuriating, because in the documentary she says all that stuff about, oh, I've talked to a source involved in the investigation, and this source is with the US Air Force, or it's a Secret Service agent or something, and I confirmed their legitimacy. I can't tell their name. I can't really tell you guys. Like, you will have to take my word for it. But totally, you know, like, oh, I talked to a source, quote unquote, you know, the quotation fingers. But yeah, she's like, oh, I talked to a source and they confirmed that this happened, or that this could have happened, or, oh, there was something going on at the time. FEARSONA, do you think it crashed? Oh, I know it did crash. To me, it did crash. It just might have not been a, you know, elaborate military action, like military mission or operation, or, you know, with governments involved. It might not have been that. It might have been actually like, you know, hijacking. I don't think it was the pilot. I think, oh, there was like, okay. I forgot about this. So there is this one detail that the documentary actually didn't talk about. The altitude of the plane when it diverted. So there's this discussion about how the altitude of the plane changed like drastically when it did that turn. So I'm gonna show you a like an infographic about it. Okay, so it's gonna cover me a little bit, but okay, so this is, let me just show you. Okay, so this is the route of the plane. The documentary does not talk about the change in altitude that the plane made. Basically, when it took off, it was after 26 minutes, it was at the altitude of 35,000 feet. And then when it did the turn, you know, right, like the sudden turn from away from the original route, apparently, like, suddenly it increased the altitude to like 45,000 feet, which is higher than its maximum supposed altitude, which is like supposed to be like 43,000 feet. So it was like over its limit, like the service limit of a 777. And then right after that turn, it drops to 23,000 feet, which is a very sharp, like, nosedive drop, apparently. Some people even, like, some suggested that it was 5,000 feet, so even lower, like right above the ground, right above the sea level. And then it remained in a, like, after a while, it just climbed back up at the 29,500 feet. Oh, sorry, 29,500 feet altitude. So that's so weird. And it would, like, to me, it kind of looks like a struggle could have happened. So if, you know, to me, if a hijacking incident happened, then this would have indicated, this change in altitude could have indicated a struggle in the cockpit. Like, oh, maybe there was a struggle to maintain or regain control over the plane. There was some kind of fight. Perhaps, maybe, like, you know, could have happened. If they weren't on autopilot, if the autopilot was switched off, and the switching off of the communication devices, the systems on the plane, that was done manually according to the Malaysian Airlines, or the data that we have, like, that was done manually and, you know, by someone. Bro, did he try to pretend dive bomb? I don't know, but like, it looks very strange. Like this, yeah. Like how it soared and then dropped very rapidly right after that turn. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I'm fucking tired. I'm so tired, man. I'm so tired. Okay. So you guys, just a slight update to I can't speak. To the schedule. So I was supposed to do a just chatting stream tomorrow, but I think I'm not gonna do it. This one is not gonna be, like, the Thursday stream is gonna be canceled because I honestly need some more time for the True Crime case on Patreon. And then there's gonna be True Crime case on Patreon on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So be there. If you are a Patreon member, or if you want to check it out, go to my Patreon. We do weekly bonus streams. We do bonus cases, or history, mystery, and wine, or karaoke streams. So there's a lot. You can check it out. and you can join me this Friday for another true crime stream. And then we have a regular Sunday true crime stream. So yes, Thursday stream is gonna be canceled, and we will have Friday and Sunday. Hey, Shy, thank you so much for signing up for joining the channel membership. Welcome to Even Angrier Mob. It sounds like it was a hijacking to me. Yeah, like me too, Eric. Like honestly, I think it was hijacking of some sort. Like I don't know by who. I don't know if it was the crew. Unlikely, but I don't know if it was the crew or if it was someone else. But yeah, I think to me it looks like either hijacking or some problems with the plane's system. Like that would explain, maybe that would also explain the change in altitude. Maybe there was like some issues with the plane and then they couldn't communicate with the land. Who knows? Well, I mean, if they find the black box, then we will get answers. Like that's the thing. Now, the most important is to find the wreckage. So we shall see. You can sing. I can sing. Yeah, so somewhat. Oh my god. Mushy brain, Sona needs a drink. Mushy brain, Mob needs sleep. Seriously, Mob needs sleep. I just want to thank IDK Bacon for modding the stream today. Thank you so much. And let me just where do I have this? And let me just read the list of my Patreons so that I can thank you guys. Give my special thanks to Patreons. Okay, let me. All right. Colonel Turtle, Tyrant Kitsune, Scholastica, CW, SAO004, IDK Bacon 53, Rudel Genoodle, Windstorm 555, Ian, Bubak, Hex Gengar, Eric, Leonovsky, Kanta, Gone Puppy, Christopher McCants, Kaf, Anwen, Chris, Hopeful Space Pitaco, Bright Slap, Follower of the Twin Goddesses, Lost Nemesis, Pistol Disco, Chris KFP, Feather Comber Guac, always a long name, DMJ 2004, Mr. Ridgway, Anthony Vivenzio, Silverjack, Chris, I Might, Christopher Holgate, Nicholas Holly, The John Active, Ketsuya, Forgotten Wraith, General Grievous, Eric Verastigi, and Mark McCarley. Thank you so much, you guys, for supporting my Patreon and for showing up to Patreon streams and hanging out with me there every week. Okay. Boomer needs some good wine and some sleep. Jesus, I need a bottle of wine. I need a bottle of wine and my nap time. You know, old people's nap time. That's what I need. Anyway, Maisie, thank you so much for the stream, Sona. It was so much fun and got my brain whirling. My FBI agents are going to be wondering about my search history. Jesus, love you, love chat. Stay safe and take care. You too. Take care, Maisie. Don't worry, I'm on the CIA, FBI, MI5 radar, and any other national security agency that exists. Scotland Yard. I don't know. No, probably MI5. What am I talking about? Sorry for having a long name. No worries. It's okay. It's okay. It's just quite a bit of a tongue twister when I try to talk about it. When I try to read it. Sona, more wine. Yeah, more wine. Oh my god, I need yeah. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much. She has awesome karaoke catalog on Live Tab. Whoa, do I? Yeah, I do. No, it's okay. I practice on Patreon. I do more often, like karaoke streams more often because I want to practice some new songs. And here on YouTube, I do it for an event. Hope and pray that you take care of yourself, Sona. You too, David. Thank you so much for being here every time. Please be safe and enjoy your life. You're always a great VTuber to do this kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm great. I think I'm just like, my brain is just messed up now and it just like automatically goes for those stories. And yeah, I just like to talk about them because it's intriguing and I think it's pretty educational. Kind of helps you see some red flags in life. My life is like full of red flags. I just stay home. Even then, I see red flags and I have nightmares. Okay, you guys. Okay, I gotta go. I have to go. Polish intelligence. Oh yeah, Polish government. I think I'm gonna be banned. I'm gonna be like my citizenship is gonna be you know, taken away from me at one point. This was fun. I'm glad to have been able to catch this stream live. I'm so glad, Shai, that you liked the stream. So I hope to see you here again. And you guys, thank you so much for watching the stream. If you do like my videos, if you do like those true crime streams and non-true crime streams, please subscribe to the channel. You don't have to subscribe to Patreon. Hey, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of free stuff here. But any sub really helps the channel. Any like helps the channel. Any comment helps the channel. And yeah, if you show up to the streams, that's awesome too. Can you sing in Polish? Yeah, I can sing in Polish. Some Disney songs. Sona, would you be open to an interview? I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of awkward in interviews, but sure, why not? You can message me on Twitter. That's easiest. I think that's the easiest way to kind of get a hang of me. You know, just message me on Twitter. Brain go brrr and emu. Sona is the detective that gives CIA full body chills. Yeah, CIA is just like, we don't want to mess with this guy, this girl, I don't know. Brain is a mush. Yeah, CIA doesn't want to mess with me. They're like, this lady's too crazy for us. I think it's too much. Thank you, Sona. No worries. Thank you so much for tuning in. 27J-Way. Oh, that's a cool name. Bye, Fear and Angry Mob. Stay angry. Demon Taker, you too. Lucky Hearth. Thanks so much for the stream, Sona. Sweet dreams, good wine, recharge, and a safe and beautiful flight back to Poland. I don't know. This is still like up in the air. Pun not intended, but plans up in the air. Oh no, I'm seriously hesitating. I don't know if I'm after this documentary and after this case, I don't know if I'm like brave enough. I'll think about it. Sona and Angry Mob Brains. Breathing is fun. KB. You're killing me every time. Hey, Rose Fox. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, Rose Fox. And yeah, hope you had fun. Take care, stay safe, lock your doors and windows, and keep being careful on what you do. Always stay up on your feet, Sona. Or yeah, like, or don't be up in the air. You might disappear like the flight. Dorothy Morgan, night, Sona. What even is words? I don't know. I'm tired. Words are hard, or sentences are hard. Yeah, adulthood, English so hard. Okay, you guys, stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Bury your haxes until the next time. Bye.